It's time for Pawn of the Dead. Join us!
Hello and welcome to Pawn of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your host, Nicholas, and as always, I am joined with the final girl, Natasha.
Hi. This week we are going over... Was it that obvious?
Yes, it was really hard. Duh. Hello and welcome to Pawn of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I'm your host, Nicholas, and as always, I am joined by the final girl, Natasha.
Hi. This week we're... God damn it. That one was gonna be good.
It's still good. Go.
Oh my God. You know what? We're going over Dawn of the Dead from 2004 this week. If you want more information, check out our link tree. It's in the notes below. Check out our Patreon if you want to see us run through all of this nonsense.
If you want to waste your money.
On our Patreon, though, you also get a chance to vote for a movie that we have to watch once a month. Each month that changes. And you get a list of the movies that we are planning on watching and reviewing and going over at the beginning of the month. So that's all on our Patreon. Check us out on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and the like. So Dawn of the Dead is a 2004 action horror film. This is a remake by Zack Snyder. This is his directorial debut, and the screenplay was written by the one and only James Gunn. It stars an ensemble of Sarah Polley, Jake Weber, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, and Ty Burrell, which I enjoyed seeing his face in this. And it's set in a Milwaukee mall for the most part. It follows a group of survivors who try to survive the zombie apocalypse while being holed up in the mall.
What is your history with this movie, if you have any, Natasha, prior to our homework this week?
I've actually seen this one before. I watched it probably in high school, college. It's been a long time, but there were some scenes that I do remember.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing this not too long after it came out, and when I was doing research and stuff, I think I remember seeing its like opening scene. Like I always remember the opening scene, not to give anything away. But there's a reason I think I remember it as well as I do. It's because the USA Network showed the entire first like 15 minutes of the movie uncut, ad-free before it released, like as like a hype kind of thing. Wow. And I think I may have seen that when it happened, because I vividly remember the opening of this film before I ever saw it. But
wow, I'm really surprised that would be shown
uncut
without any edits. Yeah, on regular TV.
Goddamn
in
right.
In the early 2000s. That's
just the way God intended. So, like you said, this came out in 2004. What do you think its budget was?
Has James Gunn tied to it, so that makes me think it was a lot.
But this is like before James Gunn was James Gunn. So, well, because like, okay, before we get into the budget, how about we do this? Okay, so everyone, like nowadays, Zack Snyder and James Gunn are like household names for better or worse, right? Mm-hmm. So like Zack Snyder, this is his directorial debut, like you said. He went on to be the director of 300 not too long after this. He did The Watchmen, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Justice League, you know, and then he's kind of fallen off in most people's opinion. You know, some people's taste vary, right? And then James Gunn, who most people know as the dude behind the Guardians of the Galaxy films and stuff, he actually came from like Trauma initially. So Trauma is like the Toxic Avenger and stuff like that, like really like schlocky like kind of films. And his first movie that I remember being James Gunn was one that came out right after this. So before or after this came out, there's a movie called Slither. It's like about like these slug kind of creatures. It's like a dark comedy, horror comedy. But there was a lot of backlash when James Gunn was put on, when it came out that he was writing this, because he was mostly known for being the screenwriter for the Scooby-Doo movie. And he wrote the script for the second Scooby-Doo movie as well. And people like legitimately sent him death threats and stuff like that. They're like, no, the Scooby-Doo guy cannot fucking do it. He also has an uncredited, he did some additional writing on 13 Ghosts.
I knew it.
There you go. But yeah, he helped write Terror Firmer and Sergeant Kabuki Man public service announcements and stuff, like just all sorts of weird like trauma stuff.
Wow.
Romeo and Juliet. But yeah, he later went on to do like he's a big writer, Guardians of the Galaxy and the like. But those two now are like Hollywood royalty in a way, right? So
like you might not know exactly what they've done, but you know those names.
Yeah, but like this is like where they both like prior to this, James Gunn had only like when it comes to Hollywood had only done the Scooby-Doo movie, right? And then Zack Snyder, this was his first like directorial debut for a feature-length film. So like these guys were nobody at that point, right? Scooby-Doo guy and this other kid that knew so much about directing a feature-length film that he thought that you direct it from page 1 to page 100, like in order, which no one ever does. So this movie is actually shot in order. So that's really rare because it like for time things. Anyway, let's get back to budget. So knowing that this isn't James Gunn, it's Scooby-Doo James Gunn, and it's not super slow-mo Zack Snyder, it's Zack Snyder with a little bit of slow-mo.
Just a touch.
Just a little bit. What do you think in this cost in 2004?
This cost in 2004 $7.5 million.
You have no sense of money.
No, I really don't. We're going back to old school, Tosh. I don't know what I'm doing.
$26 million.
Yeah.
And the budget for it was actually like cut in half. The year prior, the House of the Dead video game remake into a movie or however adaptation was made and just did horrible. So like they were just like, oh, that's not gonna do so hot, so let's pump the brakes a little bit. So yeah, it's $26 million. 2004. Do you want to know what the horror scene was in 2004 before you go for the budget?
Sure do.
All right, so let's see here. I'll give you a few of them. I'm not going to give you the order of the box office or anything. We'll get there. But Seed of Chucky, The Grudge, Saw. Let's see here. Resident Evil Apocalypse. These are the films that were like the top of the horror box office for 2004.
Hey. So you want me to give the...
Yeah, what do you got? No, we're just gonna hang out.
What do we do? We're just gonna look at each other.
Is this a fucking podcast? What the fuck?
It made $45 million.
It made $102.3 million. It was the second highest grossing horror film for 2004, just behind The Grudge. It actually made its entire budget back on its opening weekend.
Wow.
This movie like fucking went wild, because like the thing is like, you know, like I mentioned earlier, Saw also came out this year and stuff. This is like when we're starting to get a return to form of horror films. Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake came out maybe the year before or something, and then you just start getting all of these like more like intense, quote unquote intense horror films and stuff. They're getting more bloody, they're getting more like and stuff like that. So this is, you know, Scream did great, right? But then it also kind of ruined horror because everyone wanted to just be that and start getting all that shit. And then this was kind of bringing us back to like, yeah, this isn't okay for kids to watch. I mean, I let our kids watch it, but
of course you did.
But what don't I? I mean, Noelle, there's been movies that, God, I'd probably be taken to prison for showing a child. Just be like, she's like, what's the craziest thing you got? And I was like, have you ever heard of a movie called The Sadness? She's like, no. I was like, you're about to throw up. Here we go.
Oh, man. She watched it with you?
Yeah, she watched it, and then she had friends over like a week later, and she's like, Nick, what was the name of that movie? And then they all watched it together.
Whoa. All right.
It's an insane, like, zombie-esque film that goes too hard at times. But
Wow.
Like I was saying, it was the first 10 minutes that were uncut on network television. They did it 5 days before the nationwide release. It was released. It was shown on USA, on Channel 4 in the UK, with a special introduction by a film critic named Mark Kermode. And yeah, like this movie, I didn't realize until doing some like research and stuff how, I guess, important the remake is, because the original is super important. Like
right.
the original in the 70s is like considered one of like the horror greats, you know, Tom Savini doing the special effects work, and George Romero, you know, coming back from Night of the Living Dead and doing that, like, so all sorts of craziness. And a lot of people were scared of this movie getting made because, you know, how dare you touch my baby, you know?
Right.
And I think it stands on its own in a way, like, just because it is a remake, right? It's good on its own, opposed to like you can watch them both and enjoy them for different reasons and stuff like that, which is nice.
Are the zombies in the original one slow?
Yes, they are slow.
Okay.
Yep. This movie was influenced in that way from 28 Days Later, which came out just a couple years prior. And I don't know, like I'm okay with fast zombies when they're fresh, because it makes sense that their muscles are still going to work. But as they decompose, then they should start getting slower. That's my take on it. You know, some people are just no, slow zombies only.
Yeah, I'm in the camp of, I think if they're American zombies, they need to be slow. I'm serious.
American zombies.
Like an American zombie movie. They're slow.
Okay.
Like that, but then if you watch like Train to Busan, which we've covered in episodes past, those zombies are okay to be fast.
Okay. What about 28 Days Later's British? Is that they're fast zombies? Well, okay, hold on. We're going to go down a whole thing. What is a zombie to you? Because some people say that the zombies in 28 Days Later aren't zombies because they're just infected with a virus.
Nick, I have something to tell you.
What's that?
I've never seen 28 Days Later.
Oh my fucking God.
Sorry.
What is this? No. I've always been disappointed in the films that you've seen or haven't seen. Now you're just telling the listeners this. You're like literally just like thought you were in the confessional, like in a church,
I did.
But it
turned real close.
Yeah, but it turns out you're actually like the drive-through at Wendy's, and you're just like, so when I poop, it kind of turns me on. And they're like, man, this is a Wendy's. Oh no, Jesus! I was supposed to tell Jesus that.
Not Wendy. I thought you were going to say, I've always been disappointed in you. I thought you were just going to leave it at that.
It just mic drop, walk off the set.
That's the end of the episode, guys.
It's just another hour of just silence and then the outro theme. Well, they really did that, didn't they? Okay. So
anyway.
Yeah, but okay, so like what is a zombie? Like, do they have like, and some people are gonna be like, a zombie's a zombie. It is what it is. But
Let's do this.
Is it reanimated? Like, is it a reanimated dead person, or can you get bitten and just turn, or how's it work for you?
I mean, if you get bitten and turn, you're still technically reanimated because you would most likely die and then turn. Okay. I think there has to be a death component to it and a coming back.
Okay.
Jesus.
Jesus. Everyone's favorite zombie. Chocolate zombie. He loves chocolate eggs, and I don't know how anything works.
Yeah, but I think like, ooh, now I'm thinking of like The Last of Us, where...
Well, those aren't zombies technically, right?
No, technically they are. I mean, they're walkers.
Yeah, but they're controlled.
No, like that's...
The Last of Us, they're controlled
the
by...
infected.
Yeah, they're infected by a spore. So like that's the whole thing, is like it has to be just like the reanimated corpse for whatever reasoning, because like Return of the Living Dead has like its own kind of way that it deals with it, and Night of the Living Dead, all this stuff where it just the dead come to life, end of discussion, there's no explanation, period, that's it. And then some other things, you know, like 28 days later, it's an infection kind of thing. The Crazies is like some sort of infection or like bio weapon or whatever got into the water source, and it's starting to fucking turn people all fucking crazy and shit. But yeah,
I don't think I would consider that a zombie. That would be like infected.
I just group it all together, where it's just people being affected by something that now they're like savage in some facet. Like that all just groups together for me. Like gotcha. if it looks like a zombie and it walks like a zombie, whether it's running or walking, it's a zombie to me. I don't give a shit. Equal opportunity zombie employer over here. Okay.
I'm much more specific.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you get the fuck out of here. You're not getting no goddamn zombie paycheck over here.
Right.
So,
you don't have like a limb ripped off or like a gaping hole somewhere. Not a zombie.
Well, if you're looking for limbs ripped off, there are two zombies in this movie that have missing limbs. There's a jogger missing an arm, and there's a legless zombie in a parking garage. They were both played by actual amputees. The same thing was done for the first zombies seen in the original Dawn of the Dead. So how did they get that special effects magic? God. God helped them.
Yeah.
You know, so you said that you were happy to see somebody's face when you were talking about who's in this. Who was that?
Ty Burrell, the asshole.
Oh yeah. This is a really interesting like Modern Family episode, if I do say so myself.
Exactly.
I didn't know him by name, but yeah, I knew that he was in this, and I was excited because I was like, oh, he's the asshole with the well, I don't want to give anything away yet, but I was just like, I'm so excited. And he is one of the best characters in this movie because I've met that guy. Like that guy exists.
We all have. That's the funny thing. All of the characters exist. There's something beautiful about 2000s movies that their tropes and the like archetypes are so ingrained. Mm-hmm. This movie does it beautifully. Oh yeah, like it does. I'm kind of torn though, because there are certain characters in this, it feels like they're just fodder. Like we just have a big grouping of people, and who's that one? I don't know. They're gonna get off in a second anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But the one that bothers me the most is I'm trying to look him up right now. The main male lead. I can't stand this guy. Was Jake Weber? He plays Michael. He's just, like, he works at Best Buy. Like that's his whole thing, right? Yeah. Like it's just a really weird character. And it's not that he acts bad or anything. It's just not I don't know if it's that he's just outshined by everybody else, like, or that he's undershining, you know? But what is really interesting though is Nathan Fillion auditioned for the role of Michael. If you're not familiar with Nathan Fillion, he's Mal, the male lead in Firefly. He's been in a lot of things. You've seen him before, probably on TNT. He's on a lot of television shows on there anymore. But he's like a really charismatic kind of actor and everything. So like when I saw that, I was like, that would have been so much better. Have Nathan Fillion in that. That would have been great. I would have been all about that. And but I feel like the Best Buy guy though fills that void of kind of like nobody in real life, but then becomes the hero during this time of crisis. Like that's a person in these groups. There's always that guy. Yeah,
it's Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames, bitch.
Did you know Ving Rhames sought out the director to be in this movie?
Yeah, he was
I think
like,
that's so cool.
He'd heard it was coming, and he was like, I need to be in this now. And he does great in it. Like, yeah, he tracked down the producers for it and everything. It was just like, I got to be in this. Because I believe he said that in this horror film, the black guy lives, is what he was initially saying. So,
That's great.
So according to kind of Offshoot or whatever, this whole movie takes place for the most part in a mall. And if you think about malls and stuff, you got certain storefronts and everything. There's a really cool coffee shop in here called Unhallowed Grounds or Hollowed Grounds, and that was supposed to be a Starbucks, but they absolutely refused to be in this film. They're like, absolutely not, no.
Oh man.
But I like Hollowed Grounds. That's a dope ass name for a fucking coffee shop. But yeah, George Romero from the original, he had some strong reservations about some elements of the film, but professed to be surprisingly impressed with the film when it was done. So anybody out there that's pissing and moaning, they screwed up my blah blah blah, the guy who created it likes it, so you can.
But I do believe the guy who created it also said it feels like a video game. So, which after reading that, it makes sense. It really does. It feels like you're kind of wandering around finding weapons. And
it's interesting to think that, or to say that, whatever, right? Because it does, like, now that you say that, it does kind of have a Resident Evil feel. Like a real, like, not the movies that they ended up making, but like this does kind of have a Resident Evil feel in that sense. There are some interesting appearances, cameos, if you will, from Ken Foree, Scott Reiniger, and Tom Savini. All appeared in the original 1978 version of the film, but played different characters in this one. So Ken Foree delivers the tagline he delivered as Peter from 1978 version of Dawn of the Dead. When there's no room in hell, the dead will walk the earth, you know. Tom Savini, who did the special effects makeup in the original one, is the sheriff on TV. Like, so there's all these like kind of neat little things where they like brought him back. And I think he was like he also played like the leader of a biker gang in the original one. So it's just really neat to like see that kind of stuff come back, that like, if you don't know, you don't know. But
but for those that do know, it's those little cool Easter eggs.
Every time I see Tom Savini in a film, I'm like, that's the dude. He's responsible for so much gore. But so there were 50 makeup artists that would work on transforming actors into zombies for the days that required crowd scenes. And by the end of production, 3,000 zombie makeup effects had been created for this movie. All the zombies that you see are zombies.
That's really cool.
All the explosive like charges going off in people's heads, that's all real too. They made basically like squib plates on the back of their heads, and the zombies themselves would have triggers in them. So if they threw their head back, they could click, and they would. That's why everything looks so real. They'd throw their head back, click it, and you'd see the explosion of the blood against a wall or whatever. And this has like some of the best zombie action in a film when it comes to like guns on zombies, right? I'm not talking like chase scenes and stuff like that. That's Train to Busan. That's like just run the movie, you know?
Yeah.
But this one, like the fucking like gunning them down, picking off Burt Reynolds in the fucking street and stuff like that, you know? But
doesn't even look like him.
Before we get into spoilers and everything, I will give you a little taste of like what 2004 was for movies. This was the year that I graduated high school. Goddamn, I'm old. So, we'll start from number 10. We'll work our way up. National Treasure came out this year. Nicolas motherfucking Cage, baby. The Polar Express.
In it.
Shark Tale. The Bourne Supremacy. The Day After Tomorrow with Keanu Reeves. The Incredibles. Here's a Tasha movie. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes! It's my favorite.
Nerd.
My favorite one.
Fucking nerd. Here's my
I will
favorite. My
shout
favorite
it from the
movie's
rooftops.
next. My favorite movie's next. The Passion of the Christ. Okay.
So much.
Yeah, I really, really, really like it when the dude gets hit. What's that guy's name? What's the dude in that movie?
Jesus.
I don't think that's right. And then Spider-Man 2 came out. That you okay over there?
No, that's not it.
I don't think that's it. It says the Passion of the Christ, the Passion of the Chris. Oh, that's his name. It's
My
Chris.
God.
Chris.
Keep going.
Chris Cross. Oh, that's it. It's Chris Cross. It's the hip hop group from the 80s. That's what it is. Spider-Man 2, and then top of the year was Shrek 2. So that's 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wait a second. Shrek beat out Harry Potter?
Yeah, Harry Potter sucks
The
balls.
second Shrek beat out Harry Potter?
Well, yeah,
Wow.
the Passion of Chris beat out Harry Potter.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, right? Chris.
Great, 2004.
Chris is bringing in buku bucks.
Yeah, he is.
So let's get into spoiler territory. If this is your first time listening to us, sorry. We're gonna go into spoilers and openly discuss the movie. If you don't want this 20-year-old film ruined for you, tough. There's homework at the end. Go to the end. We'll find out what we're gonna watch for next week. Stick around. Maybe we'll talk about Chris some more. Who knows? But we're gonna start talking about Dawn of the Dead 2004.
If you'd like to be part of our horror film club, make sure to follow us at Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Pod of the Dead. All of our episodes can be found at podofthedeadorelse.com or wherever you stream music and podcasts. If you have movie recommendations or questions for us, email us at podofthedead666@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Or else.
Before we start talking about it, though, Natasha, would you like to give me that 10 out of 10 review that we found on the interwebs?
I would. I have to admit, the zombie genre isn't my favorite, but Dawn of the Dead, 2004, is a brilliant film for so many different reasons. In my view, it's the best zombie movie ever made.
Yeah, that's high praise.
Right. The actors are likable, which makes you empathetic to their cause. You want them to succeed. You feel sorrow when things go bad. My main complaint, as so many other zombie movies, is I couldn't care less about the actors. Also, Dawn of the Dead, the quality of acting is good, much better than most other films of its type. The film has plenty of action, but it also doesn't distract from being a horror movie. There's plenty of gore, and quite frankly, the zombies scare the bejesus out of me, and I don't scare easily.
Not the bejesus. Not bejesus.
There he is again.
The passion of the bejesus.
I think one thing I particularly like about this film is that the zombies are really nasty, fast, aggressive, in-your-face, intimidating monsters who would really scare you in real life. Well, yeah, any zombie is going to scare you in real life.
Especially if it's bejesus. Oh no, it's zombie bejesus. Zombie Jesus.
There it is. That's it. Solid. Oh man, I just never have been that keen with slow-moving, sinister, but gormless zombies. The zombies of Dawn of the Dead are truly terrifying. The pace of this film is excellent too. It moves quickly from scene to scene, but at a good pace, and covers many different things, which keeps the film interesting as a whole. I can agree with that. I really can't recommend this film enough. I really love it. And that's coming from a guy who's never been really into zombie movies.
All right. So they think that this is the best zombie film ever made.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the 1 out of 10 review that we found online is not going to say the same thing.
Like the literal opposite.
Maybe. I saw this movie after, and only after, I had assumed that it compared favorably to the original. Oh, this person, side note, this person sounds like a fucking peach and a blast at parties. And only after I was assured that it compared favorably to the original. I'll never be able to trust those people again. This is another horror film that isn't scary, isn't original in any way, and doesn't have any particular redeeming value whatsoever. It's shot like a typical commercial or music video director would shoot, and the story suffers in the same way. There is no real character development, no dramatic development to sustain a feature length. What we do have here is essentially the video game version of the original. I think somebody saw George Romero and just is regurgitating now.
I think so.
Retained are the shoot 'em up scenes of zombie butchery, but gone are the elements of humor and humanity that made the original so original in the first place. Come on, use your vocabulary.
Can we talk about the sickness? Hold that entire part. That's hilarious.
The sickness? Ooh, wah,
No, when they're come on, you won't go down with sickness. That was great.
Yeah, Richard Cheese. The Zack Snyder pushed for that to be in the movie, and the producers were like, no. That and the Johnny Cash song at the very beginning, "The Man Comes Around." He specifically wanted those songs in this movie, and the producers were like, no, and he's like, fuck you, I'm getting these in here. So yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where was I? The only attempts at humanizing the film are so utterly misplaced as to be absurd or laughable. Hold on. It's laughable, but it's not funny. Interesting.
Because it's absurdly laughable.
I like to laugh at the absurd. I like absurd stuff. It's a one-note movie that note is one that really ought to leave its audience feeling disgusted at the end. Not because of the gore, but because of the utter waste of time we have been subjected to. All right. Fuck that person, personally. Yeah. I fully endorse fuck that person. Okay. If anybody knows this person, if you've talked to somebody or know somebody like this person, don't let your friends be this person.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, I just can't imagine watching this movie and being like, ugh, this has no value. I can understand like not liking it compared to the original. I get that. But to just be like, an utter disgrace to filmmaking. I'm just like, fuck you, man. Come on. It's a fucking zombie movie.
Right.
With fucking, like, yeah, Richard Cheese, come on, get down with the sickness. Shooting Burt Reynolds in the head. Shooting, like, all that shit. Like, no, like, I understand, like, it's not, like, extremely funny. And, like, over 20 years, it definitely has lost its shine a little bit. Yeah. The special effects are still really good, though. Like, that's the one thing I will say, besides the baby, is goddamn ridiculous. I love it. I love the fact that there is a zombie, but, like, you know, like, I just wish that it would have looked better. You know?
I feel like a zombie baby, I don't know if you can make a zombie baby look better than what was on screen.
You spray paint a newborn baby and you throw that fucker on film right now. And
spray paint.
Yep, you just spray paint it and then you punt it out the door. And there you go.
Roll film. There are rules about that?
Not in this dojo. Not in this dojo. In this dojo, we spray paint and punt babies for film because that's what this zombie movie. You know what? But Jesus Christ said that this is what we need to do to make this film. Zombie Jesus said we need to spray paint babies. And who am I? Who am I to say no? Realistically,
it's true. Very, very good point.
I think this movie needed less Zack Snyder and more Zombie Jesus.
Zomba Jesus Chris.
Zomba Jesus Chris. Is that like a military name? Is it actually Chris Zomba Jesus? But like
No, it's Christ. So it's Zomba Jesus Christ, not to be confused with the steakhouse. Ruth Christ.
Is it missing an H?
Subsidiary.
Is that it? Is it just it drops the H?
H is silent.
Extra silent doesn't even make the the right sound.
It does what it wants, Nick.
It does what it wants. Yeah, it's Zomba Jesus.
Right.
And what it wants to do is spray paint babies.
I'm starting to get sick of people that are like, there's no character development. For the same reason, it's a zombie movie. That's not why we're here. Everyone is trapped in one spot. We're not going to get backstory.
Yeah, it's just a survival film. And like, yes, you can do that in a zombie film. Like we previously said on a past episode of, what the fuck's that movie called? Train to Busan. Yeah, that we've said fucking 500 times. Sorry, we're recording at night during a weekday, and I've been up since 4 a.m. So I'm a little punch drunk today.
Yep.
So
it's different for us.
Yeah. If you didn't know, with all the spray painted babies and all that, what am I going to do with all these spray painted babies?
Jesus Christ, stop.
No, that's not the right name, and you know it.
I can't wait for Christmas when we get to tell Mom we're celebrating with Jesus Christ. You're gonna get so many scoffs. I guarantee you're gonna get hit in the head.
I asked for some new gloves and a scarf.
This episode.
I hope it's a really small scarf so I can wrap my spray painted baby in it.
Oh my god. We should have stopped a half an hour ago.
Nope, we're still going. This is what people want. Oh my god. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. So
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, so this movie. I love the opening sequence and everything. I vividly remember showing Wesley this years ago because he was like, I'm not scared of anything. And I put this on and it was literally just got to the little girl attacking the husband, and he was like, nope, I'm done, fuck this. He's just like, done, I'm out.
The first part of the zombie movie.
I love it because I just love that, like, that switch to like the pandemonium, like fucking, it is so good. Like that opening scene is, again, like we've just been having like a good run of cold opens, and this one, like, if you know it's a zombie film, obviously it's Dawn of the Dead on the screen or whatever, so when you're like sitting there and we're in a hospital and it's like, oh, someone went to the ICU because of a bite, like everyone fucking knows, you know. Like, but yeah, just the way it goes and like the car escape and all that shit, it's fucking great. The overhead view of everything as like the truck gets barreled into the gas station and blows up, so fucking cool.
I like that the bite scene is kind of in the background, so they're talking about it and then you just kind of see it off in the distance instead of that being the highlight of the beginning, which I thought was cool. In a lot of movies we don't get to see, maybe I would say less than 50% of zombie movies are we actually watching the creation of and the chaos of.
Oh, like day one?
Yeah, day one.
Like seeing it fucking go. Because that's kind of the whole thing with, like, you know, Night of the Living Dead is like the first instance of it, and then Dawn of the Dead is like as it goes on. And then my favorite one's actually Day of the Dead, which is like in a military base, like on an island, like, and it's fucking real weird, but I love that one. But yeah, it's always like following this timeline of like things just keep getting worse, and now it's like, you know, it's like starts off like a rural like farm town in Night of the Living Dead, then by Dawn of the Dead now it's getting to Milwaukee or like whatever city. Technically it'd be Pittsburgh in the original one because that's where it's all set, but like, yeah, now it's into the city, and then it just keep like, now we're, oh no, and it just keeps expanding and getting worse and worse.
It's neat. So okay, I'll save that for later, but
no, you can say it right now. We are so
that's fair.
off kilter today, so fuck it.
So the fact that they end on an island, then, is that like a hearkening to?
I think that's a nod. It's been a long time since I've seen the original one. I think the original one they get away by helicopter. But yeah, like that's got to be like the little nod, and that's why I was like, make sure to watch the like through the credits, because you actually haven't seen the end of the film until you're watching through the credits. And I love, like, it's one of those things. The beginning and the end of this film are the best. Like, those are the best parts of the film. The middle of it is like, it's serviceable. It's good. It's, you know, but like, goddamn, that opening and that ending, like just watching it, like we're out of gas, we're out of this, we're out of that, you know, and the fucking dog. What's Chips? Oh my God.
Chips.
Okay. So that girl is the dumbest fucking girl in possibly any film ever. I love the fact that she's just like, I don't fucking care if there's 1,000 zombies out there. This dog that I've known for a day, a week, is the only thing that matters to me. Don't mind the fact that my dad just died and I'm instantly attracted to the only, like, reputable security guard. Like, it's so like, oh my, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that part was just, it seemed like poor writing. It didn't need to happen.
It felt very Scooby-Doo. Very Scooby-Doo.
It had to leak out somehow. That's where we had it.
No, like, because, like, the high points of this film are, like, the roof scene, like the shooting with Andy, you know, and all that stuff. I love that. Like, that will forever, like, work. Like, it's just that
makes the movie.
Yes.
I think the beginning and the end, but if we're looking at the middle, something that is the most memorable is that right there, the holding up of the signs and talking back and forth.
And then what'd you say the guy's name that you're happy, the guy from Modern Family?
Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell. Yeah, anytime he's on screen, fucking yes, so goddamn good. Like, I love that shit. Even to the point where he dies, you know, like, it's fucking great when you see him get changed and his head blown off. But right before that, what causes that truck to flip, the chainsaw scene, you know, which I completely forgot about. So, like, when it happened, I was like, hell yeah, chainsaw massacre, fuck yeah, woo. They did like a full, like, prosthetic cast of her to do that, like,
oh, cool,
to actually go through and everything, which I thought was fucking awesome. So the graphic scene in which Monica is accidentally chainsawed to death, a full body cast was made of actress Kim Poyer, which included a reloadable cartridge down the area that was to be chainsawed. This was then packed solid with blood bags. This meant that the cartridge could be taken out and reloaded for each take.
Wow. I wonder how many takes they had to do that.
A lot of the people that, like, were running the cameras and sound, like, literally were wearing, like, what are those, like, clear plastic,
like
ponchos during the filming of this, because blood was shooting everywhere. Because, like I mentioned previously, you know, like, when the squibs are going off and stuff, that's not CGI. That's a squib exploding and then there's a blood pack on it. So it's just fucking, like, ballistic shooting blood everywhere. So great. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm all about when it comes to horror films and stuff, and I have a lot of respect for that. Like, I will give movies so much more leeway by doing that, because if I notice that your blood's fake, it instantly takes me out. Like, it's just gotta be real in camera. That's it. It doesn't have to look great. It just has to, like, be real. But the special effects, probably should have said this at the top. Oh well. We have just been fucking off of it today. So the special effects were done by David Leroy Anderson. So that name might not ring a bell to everybody, but he is also known for being the special effects lead for Men in Black, The Nutty Professor, Cabin in the Woods, and he's married to Heather Langenkamp, who is the final girl from Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, but yeah, like, the fucking the special effects makeup in this is so good. The movie itself definitely suffers from being an early 2000s horror film with its film grain, like coloration and stuff. Like it's really like this colors are real saturated and everything, and it's of its time, like very much so. And it does like kind of slow down a bit. Like you even get some montages in this movie, like there's like some random sex scenes in there and making some drinks and dancing.
Those are so forgettable. It's like time spill. And it also is of the time and cringy with like the asshole, like complete douche security guard.
Oh yeah.
I hate that. I'm so glad that is no longer as popular in movies.
But it makes sense. Like his character legitimately does make sense, because at the end of the day, he just doesn't want to die. And the more I 100% understand.
No,
this.
I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the guy that's pissed that he didn't get to have sex with the fat girl or whatever. Like that guy.
Yeah, the knuckle dragger one.
The peon of the asshole leader security guard. Yeah, I get his role.
Yeah, he was completely worthless as a character. Like,
right. He just irritated me.
Yeah, he got eaten. He got eated up. So that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely, now I can't not think of this as a video game. All right, now we got to go into the basement and turn on the generators.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, now we got to go over to the gun store and get bread at the gun store. Get bread at the gun store. They're all out of bread at the gun store.
How are we going to unlock this door or get through this glass? Let's throw a toilet at it. It's like a puzzle game.
Yeah. Let's see here. I've got a light bulb and a lighter. I don't know how to open this door. Maybe something else will unlock later.
Right.
Oh no, zombie dog jump through the window. Fuck. Oh god, this is Resident Evil.
Oh no.
But so what would you say is, besides the stuff that we've said, we obviously know the music cues and the roof scene, but like any other high points come to mind?
Pausing for dramatic effect. I don't think so. Like the memorable parts are memorable for a reason. The rest of it you can just kind of leave away.
Yeah, it's
leave it just over there.
It was kind of sad because I was like really excited to watch this because I haven't watched it in so long, and I was like, this movie fucking slaps. And now I'm just kind of like, this might be the last time I watch it. Unless like I'm like, oh, have you ever seen this? No? Okay, let's check this out, you know? But I do respect it for, like, if you really think about, like, when you were in high school, right? There weren't horror films like this very often.
Right.
So that is nice. So, like, to kind of think about it for that and everything.
There is something comforting about this movie because it's set in, I know that sounds stupid.
No.
Like, this isn't quite a comfort watch, but it has that feel of my youth that I appreciated. There was just a vibe.
Yeah, the spray painted baby.
That I like.
That's what it was.
We can take that entire thing out. I knew as soon as she had a cut on her hand.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing is like there's no like subtlety into any of that.
Right.
So that's where what's the wording? Where like I guess a more tenured director and writer duo and stuff would have just like been like, the audience is gonna know, so let's not drag this on. Like you just know. The shock was that you get a zombie baby and then they shoot said zombie baby. So there's that. But like no one was shocked that his wife was like turned and all that stuff. Now, in the original script, what was going to happen was the zombie baby was going to kill the mother. But he thought that was a little too grim, and I'm here for that. I want to see that. Like I want the most ridiculous things in the world, you know? Like when the heavyset lady comes back, like she looks fucking horrific, and I really like that. Like it's really good. You know it's gonna happen. That's even without seeing it, or having seen it. Like I don't know what I'm saying.
It's still a surprise. It's like Christmas.
Is
like
it a
you know
surprise?
you know it's coming, and then you're like, oh boy, here it comes, and then it happens, and you're like, yeah, there's the.
And I absolutely love the fact that they like kill her, and they're just like, ugh, whatever. Like it's just like that whole thing, like it's so quick, like fuck. Yeah. Ugh, on to the next thing. And I think that it's after that. I could be wrong. After that, I think is when we get the fucking down with the sickness part, because it's like that like relief afterwards. And yeah, that is 100%. This film is the opening sequence with Johnny Cash after, and then it's like an hour and a half montage, and then there's a boat scene. Oh wait, before the boat scene, someone does get chopped up with a chainsaw. There's a lot of cool makeup, and then they die at the end of the film, which always makes a good horror film. And everyone dies. Hooray! Even though I absolutely despise the fact that it's like the no, you go on without me, I love you kind of bullshit, and it's like I'm just gonna that's all I gotta say about that. I just hate that kind of shit because I know how it's done well and how it's done right, and that goddamn movie's Train to Busan, like that. Like I just keep I just keep going back to it, and that's not fair to this movie because that movie came out 15 years later, you know, and it's not trying to be this. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. God damn it, but. Yeah. But it's once again, I'm beating a dead horse. It's of the time. It follows the paint by number Survivor movie. If you think about the films though that we have covered from that time, like Dog Soldiers, would you say this is better? Holy shit! Most movies are better than Dog Soldiers. Whoa! I stand by that. Let's hear what you got to say about Dog Soldiers. Go listen to the episode. It's not very nice. Oh, it is not nice. Oh, God. You girls are so ruthless about that movie. Like, I mean, they can't all be winners, but come on. That was rough. Because they're dogs? Dogs are rough? You know, sometimes puns just flow out of my mouth. I don't even realize it. You know, people do email me and say that Natasha is the funny one, you know? They do say that. Oh. No, thanks, they don't. Guys. They don't say that. They don't email. They think it. They don't email. They think it. That being said, you can email us and tell Tasha that she's the funny one at podofthedead666@gmail.com. In the world to me. I'm looking at, please love me. I'm trying to look at the films that we have covered that are in this era. So Silent Hill came out in 2006. How do you compare it to this? Yeah, similar. High Tension came out in 2003. Dude, not even on this. I think High Tension is of a higher caliber than this. 13 Ghosts came out in 2001. And we all know that's Hot Dog Water, the movie. It's so bad. No, it's not. I think go back and listen to those episodes if you want to hear like our full. You want to hear me audibly pissed for an hour and a half? Listen to the 13 Ghost episode. I was so mad that they made me watch that. And it wasn't even. No, that was a listener requested one. It was. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Thanks, Chris. But Jesus Christ. I think that's about it that we've covered from that era. It feels like we've watched more from that time. We watched 1408 was 2007. That one fucking blew goats. That was horrible. I think that was like a unanimous hate. It was so bad. It was so bad. And we watched it and we had different endings. Yeah, I forgot about that. We literally didn't watch the same movie. I have that feeling often. And this one was for real. We watched separate movies and both of those movies sucked. You had two chances and they both sucked so bad. That being said, though, looking at all that stuff, I mean, High Tension, High Tension's like legit, and I always have a soft spot for Silent Hill. You know, the remake of Silent Hill 2 came out and I've been playing it off and on and heckin' spooked. I always love that So there's a lot of nostalgia there. But like, I mean, yeah, like that's okay. It's not bad. You want to get into review?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I think you are going to give this movie a 5.
I'm giving it a 6.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has
You did say it's a comfort watch.
Yeah, it has quite a few redeeming qualities, those that we've all mentioned multiple times. And I stand by that. It probably isn't one that I will seek out, but if it's on, I will definitely sit down and watch it. Yeah, the song part alone,
Oh, yeah.
just watch it for that 5-minute sequence, if anything.
And if you're looking for some really good special effects zombies.
Special effects. Yes, there is a really cool horde, which is where that song is happening.
Yeah, that's the
you get
best.
and knowing that all of those people are extras and they're all made up, that adds a little
they
to
made
it.
$8.50 an hour. All the zombie extras made $8.50 an hour in 2004. They're millionaires now, I hear.
Where was this? I have 2 questions.
I've
First
got 2.
question:
Okay.
do you know where this was shot?
No, not off the top of my head.
Second question.
I think it was shot on location,
Okay. Oh,
but I don't know what that location was. It was shot somewhere.
that kind of answers my second question. Was it shot in a real mall, or was that a soundstage?
I think that's a soundstage. I don't think that's a real mall.
Damn it!
I know the original one is shot in a real mall, I do believe. But there's something about this one that does not feel real to me. I don't know why.
I want it to be real.
Well,
I'm not going to listen to your answer, and I'm just going to say it's shot in a real mall, because we can do that now.
Yeah, you get to pick your reality now, right? That's what we as a populace have decided, that we just live in our own realities now. Mine is ran by spray painted bejesus Christ. And he's just got spray paint all over his face from huffing paint in a sock, and that's who I worship. How about you?
Spray painted baby bejesus Christ.
Oh yeah, what are you thankful for? Since we're in the Thanksgiving season, what are you thankful for, Natasha?
Shit, this is a hard left turn.
I'm thankful for bejesus.
Oh, I'm thankful for. Damn, you put me on. I don't know.
It's not supposed to be real. It's a riff. God damn it! What?
I ruined it.
You did.
I got panicky.
Here, let me explain the joke to you. That's how you know they're funny, when you have to explain them. So you're supposed to say something quippy, like "I'm thankful for hemorrhoids" or something like that.
And here's the thing. It didn't click, and then I panicked. So
is this what the people are emailing me about? Is this the funny Natasha that they're all talking about?
now I'm in my head.
All right.
Anyway, we can cut all of that.
No, this is all staying in. So you're giving it a 6. What do you think I'm giving
Yes.
it?
I think you are also giving it a 6.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 6 as well. I can see myself rewatching this. I'm not looking to rewatch it anytime soon, but if realistically, if someone was like, hey, I'm looking for a zombie film, this would be on like the longer part of the list. Like it would, I'm trying to think, I don't think it'd be top 5, but like honorable mention, you know. Specifically though, if it's like, I want a zombie film, but I don't like 80s horror films and back, right? Because that was was the reasoning that we watched this one, is because you're not a huge fan of like 70s horror and stuff like that. You'll do 80s, 90s, and today. But I was like, well, fuck, let's just do the remake then. So it deals with your modern sensibilities and your postmodern life, and so like if that was the case, I'd be like, check this out, check out the first one. I would say is Train to Busan, straight up. Like that's possibly the greatest zombie film. It's got a lot of pathos.
Agreed.
And then the sadness. Those are so polar opposite ones. Like, do you want to be grossed out? Do you want to see someone legitimately skull fuck somebody,
Nope.
then we're gonna watch the sadness.
No, we're not.
Well, you know what, listeners, if you want us to watch the sadness, you got to get to Patreon. You gotta be a patron, and then you harass us there, and we will have Natasha watch the sadness with me, and I will record the whole thing, and you can watch her be more it's worse than Terrifier 2, Natasha.
Are you fucking kidding? No.
I am so
No.
serious. I am so
No.
serious.
Not much can be worse than Terrifier 2.
Oh, there's plenty. Just you haven't seen them.
And they can just stay not seen.
So IMDb gives this a 7.2. They really like this movie because that's hella high for a horror film. So let me think here. I think that's going to give us, I guess, 67.
I just want to shout out that I did the math correctly on the first try.
All right. It gave me a pineapple. It gave me pineapple.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, it gave Dawn of the Dead a 64.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll more than likely like this film. Obviously not Hall of Fame worthy, but it's definitely like I'm not sad that I own this. Granted, I wish that I owned it on Blu-ray. I've got my original DVD copy that was like square, like 4:3 ratio, so there was no widescreen.
Wow.
So I watched it boxed with big old black bars on the side. I was just like, I'm so glad that I bought this fucking television to just use a third of it.
Yeah, really.
But it is what it is. But all right, so that's this week. What's next week? Next week is our November Patreon voted on episode. So for that, we will be watching the remake. I believe it might be 1999, House on Haunted Hill.
Ooh. All right.
So this is another Dark Castle film. The same people that made 13 Ghosts and Ghost Ship.
Yes.
So
Excited for this one. It can be found on, I think there's a paywall for this one too. Fandango at Home, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, Google Play Movies. There's something about late 90s, early 2000s movies that aren't streamable for free on platforms.
that's weird. Maybe that's why we haven't covered them a lot.
Yeah.
I own this one on Blu-ray. So if you like this one, the Blu-ray is not expensive. So I will.
And to rent it, it's $4.
Yeah. So I think you can probably get the Blu-ray for 10. So if you really dig it, might as well just bite the bullet, and don't tell anybody. But if you've got Amazon, get the Blu-ray, watch it. You can return it, get your money back. I'm not going to tell anybody.
Jeff Bezos doesn't need it.
Jeff Bezos can sit and spin. So for Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
I'm Natasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else. Wait, hold on. A little extra something. Everybody, make sure to say your prayers to spray painted bejesus Christ tonight, and maybe, just maybe, it'll bring you something special for Thanksgiving.